Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Azabi here, back again with My Hero Academia Season 4. We're on episode 14 right now, and in the last episode, well, it was fucking fantastic, wasn't it? Everything from the start of this plan, it led all the way up to this moment that we got where Deku was, well, allowed to go all out at 100%, without the sort of consequence of, damaging his body in the process, because we had Eri who was using her quirk at the same time that was essentially reversing and allowing, it wasn't healing as much as it was just going back in time and reverting to a state before it was damaged. But because she was doing that and kept it on the entire time, the amount of time that was there, it allowed for Deku to be at 100% the whole time. And what I don't think I mentioned was, I'd like to go back to, season 2 when he was facing off against Todoroki, and Aizawa said, that takes an extreme amount of resolve. I think that also applies in that moment as well, because I think it's probably easy to forget that whilst he is using 100% that whole time, even though it's reversing, he'll be feeling that pain constantly while he's using it. So, I think it just, it continues that sort of further, that thing of Deku, going beyond for others and not caring about, what was happening to himself at the time. But I also said that, I think that, when Night Eye said that he saw the future and everything like that, I believe that it's to do with Eri, and it wasn't Deku changing it out of sheer will. Because Eri's is to do with time as well, I think it counteracts, Night Eye's in a way. So I think that's what it was. I also didn't recognise that the song that they sang, and the actual song that was in the middle of the episode, was actually You Say Run. I don't know how I didn't pick up on that. I think I was just too I was too immersed, I was just so sort of in awe of what was happening at the time that I didn't pick up on it. So apologies for that. But yeah, it's literally the You Say Run, sort of instrumental in the background. Fantastic, love that. And yeah, I mean that's what I've got. So I don't think there's anything else to really talk about it. I don't know if the fight is over right now or not. I guess we'll just find out. And yeah, stop ranting on. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to get in episode 14 and see what we get. If you do want to watch the reaction, the link is in the description below. That'll take you to the 10-minute edited version. If you do want to see the full thing uncut and in full, then you can do by going over to my Patreon and becoming a full tier patron. And then you can get the full reaction episode uncut. So enjoy that. But yeah, there's nothing else to really talk about. So we're going to get in episode 14 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 14. I had to go back to see what happened with the overhaul. Halfway through the episode or whatever. So just to make sure that I got what, to see what exactly happened. That's it. That's I mean that's it, isn't it? I mean that's the true the first real death we've had that meant something, I mean we've got Magna died and everything like that, but it just come on, it's not even on the same level. That was tough to that was tough to keep in. I couldn't even keep anything in watching that. That was tough. Every time an episode, there's been a lot of these episodes that I've recorded that has happened here where I don't know where to start for whatever reason it is, if it's an epic fight or whatever. And then this one, it's dealing with the death of something. It's just there's an event that'll take place that'll just fucking write everything off, and all of a sudden it becomes hard to talk about anything else, because it's how do you what's the point talking about something that is over, it's so overshadowed by the fact that Night Eye's dead. I mean, I didn't even, it's crazy because I didn't even think I didn't even think about the impact of it when I first saw him get fucking impaled, and I was like, that's through the heart. There's no way that he doesn't die. And I said it was such like, like I knew that was a certainty back then. I knew it was going to happen because I was like, that's through his heart. Like, how do you stop that? I mean, yeah, we've got Eri, but Aizawa was saying, like, she's in a state now where it can't be done. So what happens next is we're just going to have to deal with it. We can't get back Miriel's power. We can't. Well, technically we could at some point, but I don't know. But Night Eye, whatever happens with Night Eye, that's it. That's tough. And I wouldn't care as well, like, and just like these past few episodes talking about how I don't want these bullets to become substitutes for killing off characters and stuff, and then one goes and dies. I mean, I still hold it true, even though I just want to do things. I just want to talk about something subjectively here and not objectively, but objectively, I still hold the opinion that you need like characters like this to die to make it feel like things have real consequences, and it's sort of just kind of tough to take, especially with the opposite sort of nature of Night Eye talking, like, we had that flashback multiple times of where we're seeing Night Eye over All Might, and after he's had that big fight, and he basically destroyed like his whole stomach and everything, and now it's like the other way around. And the thing is that that the whole thing, like, overhauling All Might never really like cemented that the relationship back again, and then and they never got that chance, and I don't know if that's something that All Might is going to like constantly keep with him. It's like everything culminated in it's so weird because everything culminated what I believe would be like the way I would want it to go down story wise, because Night Eye at the end now believes in Deku to be the correct choice to have been taken over One for All and everything, and at the end there he looked into Mirio's future and saw that he'd be the finest hero. But the only one that I don't think really got that was All Might, though. Like, it culminated at a point where All Might just never got back to that sort of relationship and whatnot. But it so I don't know how All Might's really going to take it. Again, like, I'm in that space where I say, like, I don't want to look at stuff like too objectively, because I just want to kind of like I personally don't want to overshadow Night Eye's death, but I know that like part of my job is to sit here and talk about and discuss things and whatnot, and I don't want to let you guys down, because I know like the people that do actually watch these discussions actually they tell me that they enjoy them, so I'm gonna have to get into it. So the future, like looking into Mirio's future there, like that one last time thing. Well, there's a few things I take from that. I don't know if that was a true thing or not. I think it's coupled with like whatever. I don't think it didn't really matter what Night Eye saw. because regardless, he's of the belief that what was it? Yeah, he said the desire of like will to get the job done, and completely like just that full on like that creates like some sort of energy that allowed them to to change the future in that way, which is something I didn't like. I wanted to take it the more logical approach, or as logical as it could be, and because Eri's quirk is to do with rewinding time, it fucked it up there, and because of that there was no way to like the future quirk was just basically like it didn't know what to do, so it took out like the most the obvious outcome without Eri's power involved, and I thought that was what it would be, and that seems like more logical to me. And it still could be that, I suppose, because Night Eye was just he was just saying what he thought it could be, but now that it's like out of his mouth, I don't know, I got the feeling that that was actually true, like that, like it's almost like confirmed that is what it was. But I don't know, it just feels like I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with just that to be the answer, because it's just like just the desire of like just sheer will just breaking through like that, which I don't know. But the fact is that regardless of how the future was changed, I think the point that it was making was at that moment when this was like the first time that Night Eye could look into somebody's future and not be scared to do so because of the effect that he think that it might have. So regardless of whatever he did see in Mirio's future, we purposely didn't see it, because in the end of the day, because it doesn't matter, because of what he says, that the future can be changed, so it doesn't matter what the outcome is, which means that he was safe in looking at it. But I think the great thing about that is, and I think that this is a testament to the writing, is that the idea that Night Eye knows that the future can be changed meant that he was looking into his future to tell him something, not just of because he knows what's going to happen. He knows that it will because it's Mirio, but it's him giving his last like sort of thing to his pupil, like basically saying like, I know you'll do well, I know you'll become the finest hero the world's ever seen, because you have that determination and desire and will to do so. So more so it's him almost encouraging his student at the end there, as opposed to just looking into the future and saying this is how the outcome is, because I've seen it, because he knows it can be changed anyway. So him seeing the future there didn't even matter. I think him looking at the future was more almost for Night Eye for himself's sake. Like, I can do this, I can look into the future and not be worried about the outcome, even if the outcome is bad. But that's another good thing as well, because even if the future can be changed through sheer will and determination, anything like that, even if Night Eye did see the future that far and sees him as the world's finest hero, then that's a win also, so it's just one of those things that I think helps with Night Eye being content at the end, and that was obviously sort of confirmed as well, like by the smiling at the end, which is not also a confirmation of that, but also smiling in the face of adversity, and Night Eye was just like essentially smiling in the face of death. It's crazy to think, isn't it, that we've only known Night Eye's character for what, 12 episodes, and the impact that he's left is huge. It's like I think the introduction of the big three and Night Eye, specifically Mirio and Night Eye, like those two have been incredible introductions characters wise, because they've had such an impact in such a short amount of time that I think it's probably the best like character introductions we've had in this show. Because the impact's just been huge. I'm not like obviously I'm not like counting when I say character introductions, I mean characters that have come into the show later than ones that were started with, you know, because otherwise I would say clearly All Might, and you know, but yeah, I mean it's going to be Recovery then from now on. I mean, yeah, I knew when like Recovery Girl showed up and everything like that wasn't going to be like, I knew what situation we're in for, because Recovery Girl can only recover things to like things that can actually be, you know, like that can naturally heal, and he had a bloody fucking massive spike through his body, you know. I think that's like another sort of, you know, like opposite thing to the All Might, like a hole in his stomach, you know, like hole right through like his torso, like the similarities between Night Eye and All Might, like in both those situations, I think, you know, it's written that way on purpose, isn't it? It's just this time Night Eye, yeah, he couldn't, he wasn't able to be saved from that one. So yeah, I know like a few episodes back actually was a bit when was it? Was it like episode 6 or something, where I was a bit sort of critical of, like, I criticised like some of the, like, I can't remember exactly what it was. I criticised Night Eye for something. And I feel bad for it. I just feel bad for it now, because like, you know, this whole invasion of the Hisai guy and everything from the very get-go, like from the beginning, was, you know, he's being incredible, and I completely underestimated him. So yeah, I feel terrible for that. But now, yeah, it's about Recovery. So we have where else? Where do I want to go? I don't even know where I want to go. I've got some things written down here. I think the only other thing I really want to talk about is the overhaul thing, I suppose, because the rest of it, you know, yeah. So the League took time at the end of that. I think the idea was they were going to try and get Eri, but they didn't. So instead, this is what they opted for, or it could have been just all part of the same plan, and it was just Toga and Twice that were just like, maybe we can try and get Eri while here as well. But they decided to go straight after Overhaul. So I had Shigaraki there. We had... Fuck, what's his name? I'm fucking... my brain's just gone after this episode. Just one of those mental fatigue things of just, you know, and then just my brain just refuses to work. Dabi, that was it. And Mr. Compress. So they dealt with a guy called the Sand Hero, Snatch. And at the end, Dabi says that I think only his top half can be sand, so he's probably dead. I don't know what that means. I thought he got captured in the capsule by Mr. Compress, but I don't know. I guess so I don't know what they're doing with him then, because I don't think he died. But anyway, yeah, they managed to get Overhaul out there, and they ended up taking the thingy capsules. They took the reverse ones as well, which I believe are the blue ones, right? But they don't know about them yet, right? I guess they're just going to have to just try and find out what they do. So yeah, while he was pinned down, whatever, Mr. Compress took one arm for his, as like sort of just payback, and then Shigaraki used his decay on his other arm and said that he just had to cut it off just in case. And then he gave out a quote which I really liked actually, where he says, "One so obsessed with wiping out quirks shouldn't have one of their own," which I thought was a great line. But yeah, I mean, when Shigaraki's just like laughing in his fucking like in his face and stuff, and then like Overhaul realizing that he like can't do anything, screaming out, I was like, I felt quite bad for him, which is crazy. Like I shouldn't. It's like, it's not the, because obviously like it's these things of like he's done bad things, right? He's done really fucking horrible things, disgusting things, but when you, it's like when you go, when you know, flashing back, but flashing back to, you know, the reasons why he does what he does, and doing it like all for the Hisakai and everything like that, and like this is it, like, and Shigaraki's literally throwing it in his face, like this is it, like you're unable to do anything, all you can do is watch from the sidelines while your dream just sort of just never comes true, like it's just not reality anymore. You know, and it's I feel bad for that in particular. But I mean, honestly, like, has Shigaraki ever looked like more fucking evil than when he was like literally like laughing in the face of Overhaul while he took his? Because here's the thing, I thought the reason why I had to go back was because I thought I'd missed something, because I thought Shigaraki took the capsules or whatnot, and he says that one so obsessed with wiping out quirk shouldn't have one of their own. So I thought that he would have used the bullet on him to get rid of his quirk, but it seems like he only they took both of his arms, so he's not able to use his quirk unless with. So I guess it's his. I guess he needs his hands to be able to activate his quirk. I guess that's what it is. The Hisakai were fucked. Like, is that the end of the Hisakai completely? I mean, here's the thing. It didn't look like he used one of the bullets to get rid of Overhaul's quirk. So I have to assume that he needs his hands, or at least his arms, like forearms, whatever, in order to activate his quirk. Which means without them, he's essentially got no quirk anyway. Now, the arm itself that was used with Decay is completely gone. That's not coming back. However, Compress has one, right? So there's a possibility he may not be, like, Overhaul might not be completely gone. If he's able to, I mean, here's the thing as well. Like, all the Hisakai members are like, they're being captured. I thought Chrono Trigger would have gotten out of there somehow. I thought he was going to leave, and then he would be like the one to be able to possibly, you know, get back Overhaul's arm. But that's the thing, is like, Compress's ability to just be able to take one thing from someone is crazy. Actually, going back, when Darby was talking about, I think it was only his top half that could be sand, which is why he's dead. Is that what he was referring to? Because Compress only took, like, the bottom half? Because, Compress, he was just able to just take the arm. But if he was to release it, it wouldn't reattach, would it? So I guess... No, I guess that's it then. I don't think... I don't know. There are some, like, I don't think this will happen, and this is entirely hypothetical, and it's just for my state of mind, just so I know that, you know, just because I've talked about it. If it does come true, it means that, you know, I was right in not dismissing it. But there are some circumstances in which I think Overhaul could get his power back, and that is one of them. If Compress has one of his arms, you can get that arm back. There's Eri that can reverse time, though they would have to get a hold of her again. and I don't know how really good of an idea that is. I don't think for the story that's a good idea for them to get Eri back. But I mean, the thing is that I don't know. There may be someone out there with a quirk that can reattach an arm, because I don't think if Mr. Compress releases that arm out there, it'll just reattach. So, and it's not going to work just by a free floating arm, is it? So, fuck it. I don't know. I'm just going to say that's it for Overhaul. Really, I think that's it. Well, that was crazy. That was really like a crazy arc involving Overhaul. Like Overhaul was a really, really cool villain. Really, really cool. Yeah, Eri's quirk only works on alive people, which is interesting to note. I thought like possibly may have been the case, because obviously we've never saw her use it for anything else. And if she was attached to anything, you know, like to what degree could she change anything? You know, like she could change fucking. Oh god, I mean that would be really crazy if she could change not only living people but, you know, well, dead ones, and then coupled with that, like objects, you know what I mean, before they couldn't just return them back to their natural state. What the fuck? Like, what would happen? Like, could you get like a piece of paper and make her do that, and then it would turn into a tree eventually? I don't know. It'd be crazy. But yeah, she can't do that anyway because she can only do it with live people. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like Night Air's not coming back. That sucks. There's nothing really else other than those. Those are the big things. The other things I did write down were Ochako touching Overhaul. I was scared there, but I guess it didn't matter because he was knocked out anyway. But it's still, you know, it's still like, whoa, hold on. You know what I mean? You're touching his fucking, like, where he literally uses his quirk, you know? And that's bare skin as well. So, thinking up, you know, actually, you know, propping up Aizawa's head to use it was great, because obviously he was still under that power, so you'd be too slow to move up. So, well done, Sue, for that. It was great. I suppose I will give props to Ochako for actually like going off and like you know actually going out of a way and doing that to like you know to get him down there. That's the thing is with Overhaul, I don't know if it's just the hand specifically that he needs or if the arms, because if he you know, I guess if you tie down his arms, then he can't be, you know, he can't use his hands, I suppose. So yeah, I'll give Ochako props as well for that. Going into danger like that, it's nuts. Yeah, and then bury an Overhaul in the concrete like All Might did. Yeah, I talked about that obviously in the reaction. Like I said, the great thing about the show is that there's so many things where you can go back and like pinpoint the similarities in things, and especially when it comes to Deku and All Might, which is obviously great because obviously Deku, you know, he literally is like in his mind like supposed to be like the new All Might, and what he takes from All Might like all the time throughout this entire show, and like. You know, Deku's whole thing at the very beginning was observation and using other people's powers, you know, like to use himself, and he'll use them in different ways and things, which is something that you don't really say anymore. There's like his writing down and observation of other things. So now it tends to happen, and if you notice it, you notice it. But I think that's like I said, that reminded me when he threw Overhaul to the floor, like All Might did with Nomu at the very. Like in episode 12 of season 1, and I'd like to just think in my head that like Deku obviously watching all of that happen was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bury him in the concrete, you know. So it's just these little things, you know, that I like to make. What the fuck's the word? What's the word? What's the word when like something in the law is like canon? That's it. I'd like to make a canon. There we go. Jesus Christ, yeah, my brain is fried. I need to go get something to eat and everything. But that's all I've got for this episode. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that would be very much appreciated. I'm trying to get to doing this full time again for you guys, so I can get out more content and whatnot more frequently for you. You know, so if you will support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards on there on Patreon. So there is the early access tier, $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early. and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. So if you're interested in that, go ahead. I've just finished reacting to episode 128. So you know, I don't know what's out publicly right now, like 70 something. So you've got like 50 episodes there that you can just go binge watch. You know, so go and enjoy that if you wish. There's also $10 there for full length. So you know, obviously, if you want to see all of these reactions in full, unedited, uncut, including this episode, then you can do by becoming a full tier patron. And yeah, there are other tiers where you can pay to have a certain show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.